Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Zongkong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, homage to Master Tupten Dorji, homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, the wish-fulfilling Vajra, Mahapratisara Bodhisattva. Sumo, Tanchen Katso, Tuten Siddhi, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon, how do you do?
Aishiteru. Sarange. Oramico. Kekero mucho. Sugoin. Ichiban. Kimochi. Chumi. Yapi. Pirin. Konnichiwa. Ayo. Cảm ơn. Xin chào.
Today we did Mahapratisara Bodhisattva. And his secret name or epithet is the Vajra, fulfilling Vajra. And he has the Pratisara 8 mudras, and you have to form them. Just now, during the ceremony, I have formed them, the Pratisara 8 mudras. And these mudras follow Mahapratisara Bodhisattva. Every time we want to pray to him, we have to form the Pratisara 8 mudras. So you need to remember them clearly if you practice this Dhamma practice. And for Mahapratisara, the primary supplicants always the most. Because of all the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas, he follows sentient beings who thinks of Mahapratisara Bodhisattva will receive response. And if you are mindful of his look, form his mudras and chant his mantra, you will receive great spiritual response. And in his sutras, it was mentioned at Kapilavastu city, Sakyamuni Buddha, after leaving home to become a monk, his queen Yasudhara
怀孕，
was pregnant.
肚子里面就是
In her womb, it was Rahula
拉
youth,
拉童子。
the Rahula child.
那当时的时候啊，在这个国王本身认为，
At that time, the king
怎么佛陀已经去出家了，结果
thought that the Buddha had become a monk and the concubine became pregnant. So he threw Yasudhara into a fire, trying to burn her. And the Rahula child inside her womb, Sakyamuni Buddha's son,
肚子里面意念大水球菩萨。
inside the womb, he was thinking of Mahapratisara Bodhisattva and chant his mantra and form his mudras.
这个火坑啊，化为
The fire pit
白莲石，
became white lotus
火
pond.
坑就熄灭掉，
The fire was extinguished and it became a lotus pond, became nice and cool.
所以他的经典里面有讲到，
So in the sutras,
意念
it
大
was
水球
mentioned that whenever you think of Mahapratisara Bodhisattva, chant his mantra,
别扎马哈布拉蒂萨多索哈。
Om Pecha Mahabhurati Salo
当中
Soha,
主要的一个音，
and form the most important mudra of the 8 mudras, which
拍
is
第三掌，
clap 3
摩
times
擦三下，
and then rub 3 times.
大水球菩萨他就会降在身上。
Then Mahapratisara Bodhisattva will descend upon our body.
他马上就会降临。
he would immediately
这是非
descend.
常重要的所谓一念金刚的意思是说，
So this is very important. The meaning of the wish-fulfilling Vajra is that
一念金刚，
he would grant whatever wish
这一尊
you have.
有喜的人非常的多。
That's why the primary supplicants for this deity are very many.
也是广大灵感，
And this deity
广
also
大灵感。
greatly responsive.
它会相应的
Will give spiritual response.
那么现在呢，通知大家，下个礼拜天11月14日
Now I would like to announce for next Sunday,
3点 PM
November 14th
是
at
黄
3
财神
p.m.
护摩法会，
There will be yellow Jambala Homa fire offering ceremony.
Om 真巴长长耶耍，也就是北方多闻天王。
The northern heavenly king Vaishravana's emanation, yellow Jambala.
这个不用我讲，
I don't need to say more.
大家都会出席。
Everybody will become primary supplicants.
大水球菩萨啊，他广大灵感，而且他的密号就是一念金刚，给你的愿望实现的。
Mahapratisara would grant your wishes, His secret name is the wish-granting Vajra. Let me share a joke. The research stated that if you sleep late every night, it would prevent Alzheimer. Why? Because you will never become old enough. So it's best if you don't sleep so late at night, every day, every night. The piglet asked the pig dad, "Dad, if you see $100 bill and $50 bill, which one would you pick?" And the pig daddy said, "Do you need to ask? Of course the $100 bill." And the piglet said, "You really are a pig. Can't you pick both?" So the dad's lost. Nowadays, pigs are very smart. We often heard this joke. The wife asked the husband, "If I fell into the water and your mom fell into the water, which one would you save first?" But how come there's no man asking himself? What it meant here is, why isn't there husband asking the wife, "If I and your dad fell into water, why?" We all know about this question that wife asked the husband, "If I and your mom fell into the water, which one would you save first?" But how come there's no husband asking his wife, if he and her dad fell into water, whom would she save first? Because the wife would slap him. "So you curse my mom to fall into water? Curse my dad to fall into water." So the women are more vicious. Now we'll do question and answer. From Indonesia. Liên Hoa. XX. Grandmaster Amitabha. Sorry, I will not let my name known. Please forgive me. I took refuge in Grandmaster due to my affinity. And then I also took refuge in two other gurus from two different schools. But up till now, my main practice is true Buddha Tantric Dharma. Your disciple is very respectful to my three lineage root gurus, because each of my gurus' teaching comply with the Eight Noble Path and taught me how to maintain the precepts, and also have bestowed wisdom and taught me to go deeper in my enlightenment, and also have taught me good Dharma. And by receiving the training from the second and third gurus, I am able to go deeper in Grandmaster's Dharma, so that I can utilize the wisdom to understand that the three schools are actually all interrelated and they are all equal. My question is, because I don't differentiate the three schools or the three gurus, who is higher, who is lower. I just put them chronologically on when I took refuge. So it doesn't matter which Dharma I practice, I would invoke my three gurus. First is Grandmaster, and then the second and the third one. And then the Sutra school lineage gurus, and then the second school lineage gurus, and then the third school lineage gurus. And then, or when I ask for blessing, and then I would continue my practice, or doing my practice. And when I practice the Sutra Tantric Dharma, it's the same. Before the practice, I would invoke that way, and also in invocation, I would chant it that way, and also for fourfold refuge, I would visualize the same order, and the other practice procedure is the same. So is this okay? Thank you, Grandmaster Amitabha. Okay, this is Lianhua XX from Indonesia. He did not expose himself, because if he does, then many arrows would be shot at him. In Grandmaster's view is that he practices true Buddha Tantric Dharma, because he did say that his main practice is true Buddha Tantric Dharma. But he highly reveres his three lineage root gurus. And in the invocation, he always placed Grandmaster as the first one. And like this, like what he wrote. What do you think? So he practices true Buddha Tantric Dharma, and Grandmaster is the key. But he respects all three gurus as Buddhas. If you have any opinion, please raise your hand. If you don't, please don't raise your hand. I think it is fine. My personal view, it's okay for him to do it this way. Because in the beginning, everyone is hearing, contemplating, and practicing. First you hear, and every Buddhist would go to different places, centers, spiritual centers. So one person goes to a spiritual center, and then it's not the case that he will not go anywhere else. That's impossible. The same with Grandmaster. First, I was a Christian, and then a Taoist, and only later I became Buddhist. I also have taken refuge in many. Those who are not Christian, Taoist, or belonging to Christians, Taoists and Buddhists. So think about it. In the past, I took refuge in Gui Changming, Tiande Seng Jiao. So I have taken refuge. I also paid homage to Xiao Changming, father and son. Tiande school, 20-syllable mantra, and then Tiandi Jiao, Earth and Heaven School. In Taipei, LiuhuKezhan Station, there's a hotel. Li Yijie invited me for dinner. He said that he wanted to establish a school. Asked me to give him the name of the religious school, and I did. I wrote Tiandi, Heaven and Earth School, because he came from Tiande, Heavenly Virtue School. So I thought Tiandi. So Li Yijie founded the religious school called Heaven and Earth School, Tiandi Jiao. And yet, two Buddha school disciples also went to this Heaven and Earth School. They did not know that the name was given by me. It was at the Zhuansilo eating dim sum. We were there too. So I gave to Li Yijie. The Buddha school disciples went all over and also went to Tiandi school and took refuge there. But they did not know that the Tiandi Heaven and Earth School name was given by me. So they are witnesses here. We went for Hong Kong dim sum at the Chinese restaurant. He invited us for dinner because he saw me at the Heavenly Virtue School, Wang Depu's place. And Grandmaster had joined Yiguan Dao as well. And Grandmaster is one of the masters, Dian Xian Guan. The hand is holding the He Tong Mudra and chant the 5-syllable mantra. And the hand is forming the mudra He Tong Yin at the Yiguan Dao. I've gone there too, their spiritual center, Xiang Sang Mu Xing Gong, Pang Wang Ting Zhu, at Hsinchu City. When I was in America, he also called me. So that was a period of time. I still respect them. Jesus Christ, I refer him as Guru. I still respect them. I also have many gurus whom I connected karmically. But the Venerable Mang Liao Ming is from the Nyingma, Master Sakya Zeng Kong or the Zong Rinpoche from the Sakya school, and from the Kagyu school, His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and from the Geluk school is Master Dukden Dorji. And I have also had connected with many other gurus. I also followed their teachings. So in my personal view, it is okay. You respect them all, but you need to know what Dharma is your key practice. Because our Two-Buddha Tantric Dharma is simplest, the most direct, and most suitable for the modern day practitioners. As long as you have the main one, that's fine, and the rest are just secondary. And then you you respect them together, it's fine. And Grandmaster too went to many spiritual centers. I have a certificate as a Taoist master as well. In the Tongling Mi Fa Su, which is the
所以我认为这个印尼的莲花嬷嬷，你这样子修法，这样子做。
Connecting spiritually to the Tantric Dharma, they all talk about Taoist practices. So to this Lianhua XX from Indonesia, it's okay. Because that's how I was too, and I wish that you have attainment in your spiritual cultivation, that in the future you can spread the True Buddha Tantric Dharma. Grandmaster is not so small-minded, that it's not good if you become a Tzu person. No, it's fine. Because what you're doing is the work on the path of merit accumulation. That's very good. Or you go to Huaku Mountain, the flower drum mountain, that's good. Then at least you know how to drum, how to play the drum or the flower drum. Yeah, they have a huge bell there, or you can also hit the bell. That's good too. Or you go to Fo Guang Mountain or the Buddha Light. To become a Buddha Light person, that's good too. Because they embrace all sects, because they have many precious things too. That's very good. Or you go to Zhongtai Mountain, that's a Zen temple, so you learn Zen Buddhism. That's also very good. The Flower Drum Mountains, also Zen Buddhism, under the Dongchu elder. So they're all good. They're all fine, but you should have a key practice. You should have one main one. Then that'll be fine. Second question asked by Lianhua Li Chen from New York City, America. I have a question. Is it true that most elderlies can see the spirits, the intangible spirits? Why? What's the reason? And most elderlies have worked so hard all their lives. Why can't they live their life at peace, and they are being disturbed by all these intangible spirits? Thank you, Grandmaster. Actually, being old is one of the sufferings. We talk about 4 sufferings: sufferings of birth, sufferings of aging, suffering of sick, and suffering of death. 4 major sufferings. Sakyamuni Buddha once said, he often says, told us, human life is suffering. Before giving Dharma teaching, he often mentioned, first, human life is suffering. Suffering more than happiness. More suffering, less happiness. So, Sakyamuni Buddha, because of suffering, you cultivate spiritually. Those who are happy, it's very difficult to tell them to cultivate spiritually. Elderlies can see the intangible spirits, not always. Usually, is when you're about to die, then you can see the intangibles. I'm not talking about Simo. Simo could see the spirits, but not disturbed by the spirits. In this period of time, she would see the spirits. The other day, a few days ago, she saw me. How come you have 5 eyes? I see you have 5 eyes on your face. Oh, that's not many. All my body are eyes. Before she sleeps, all of a sudden she opened her eyes and, how come you have 5 eyes? If you have no stability, you would be numb and all unable to move. And she said, you became a monster. Your hair is long and white. She often told me that situation because I would be the last one to leave her room. I have to drop some eye drops on her eyes and do a protection, and then to cover her with blanket. And then every time before the blanket, she would tell me, and then would tell me who around me, and she often says those, but she's not afraid of them. So this thing happened to her, but it doesn't mean that she's about to leave. She's about to die. No, that's not the case. I think she would live longer than I do, because she's always helping the school's affairs, and her brain is very clear. Her judgment is very strong, That's her strength.
她的判断力非常的能力非常的强。
She's extremely capable.
脑筋还是非常的清晰。
Her brain is very well. She understands a lot.
那我一直在帮助她。
I'm always helping her.
虽然这样子，但是她的寿命应该是很长。
Although she's like this, but she will live a long life, and my life would be shorter. That's my opinion. Although she's old already, in Taiwanese age, I will be 78 next year, and she's 74. When I register for the planet ruler, wow, I'm 78. I thought I was just 8. I don't find her old. She's still very judgment, very good judgment. So why, when you're old, you cannot have a safe and peaceful life? Because being old and being sick are together. I wish you a long life and health. Longevity and health are very important. But living a long life cannot always be healthy. It's very rare to be healthy when you're old. The older you get, all kinds of problems start to appear. Taiwanese doctor Li Jialin often told me seven pill elderlies. In the morning you have to eat 7 pills. This is for blood sugar. This is for high blood pressure. This is for triglyceride, for cholesterol, blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, for pain. Or eye drops because you have dry eye syndrome. All kinds of problems appear. This is for allergy. This is for the skin. And you put it on here and there. And then knee pain, head pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, back pain, pain everywhere. And then something hardened. Oh no. Maybe it's a tumor. If you rub something, then you think, oh, that's cancer or tumor. All of a sudden it grows. And for women, breast cancer, uterus cancer, and for men, prostate cancer, or lymphatic cancer. Any place where it's swollen. The elderly, before they die, they scare themselves to death. How can you have peace and at the old age that doesn't exist? It's good enough, like Grandmaster. Sumo is not disturbed by the intangible spirits, but some people are afraid of them. There are some people who see them all the time. See ancestors or other ghost spirits. This is why. Not why. It's naturally like that. What's the reason? Naturally. The senior homes, those who look dumb and Alzheimer, but maybe it's a PhD of heart disease, and now he's sitting there like that. Each old man is like that. So being old is suffering. So as children, we want to dedicate ourselves to the parents, because they have given birth to you and raised you and had a hard life. So we have to be filial piety toward them. You should not undermine your elderlies or seniors. How come they're so slow? That's normal. If they do it fast, that would be strange. They cannot run anymore. You want them to run marathon? An elderly in their 70 or 80? That's impossible. So that's natural. You ask me why? What reason? It's just natural. And seeing the intangibles is because they have lost the yang energy, so they can see the intangible spirits. That's the answer to the second question. Now, today we will still talk about the Vajra Sutra. A disciple asked the Guru, how come my mastery, my Kung Fu, doesn't improve? Have you seen a seagull reflecting light when they're flying at sunset? Yes. Have you ever seen the waterfall continually falling on the rocks? Yes, Niagara Falls. Have you ever seen the moon reflection? Yes. That's your question. Because you don't practice and you just go around looking at those. An elderly woman who cannot climb the stairs went to the doctor for a check, and the doctor said, your heart is not good, so don't go up the steps. A month later, she went back to the doctor, and the doctor was surprised. Oh, your health has recovered, your heart is strong, and now you can go up the stairs now. And the elderly woman finally sighed relief and said, Oh, now I don't have to crawl on the steps anymore. Now I can walk. Because the doctor told her that she cannot walk on the steps, but instead she crawled on the steps, so her heart got better. That's a miracle, but you should not listen. Because if you crawl and your heart stops, I will not be responsible for it. The wife told the husband, "Dear, do you know, behind a successful man there is a great woman." The husband said, "I know. But can you walk by yourself? Because I cannot. You're too heavy for me to carry." Now we will expound the Vajra Sutra, the next part. Subhuti, if there is someone who has a body as big as the king of Mount Meru, is his body big? What do you think? Subhuti replied, "Very big indeed, world honored one." Why? Because the Buddha said it's not a body, therefore it's called a big body. This is very meaningful. Today I will just talk about this excerpt. Subhuti, if someone has a body as big as the king of Mount Meru, is his body big? What do you think? Subhuti replied, "Very big indeed, world honored one." Why? Because the Buddha says, not the body, therefore it's a big body. The key here is on the big. What is big? In Buddhism, Meru, Mount Meru, on top of Mount Meru are the Triyatrimsas. At the center, the four heavenly kings' heaven, and at the bottom, divided into the 8 major continents, 4 major continents, 8 minor continents, and the in between the 7 fragrant oceans. So that's the Buddhist view of the universe. At the center, Mount Meru. So Mount Meru, of course, is the biggest one. Sakyamuni Buddha used an analogy. So is Mount Meru big or not? If someone is as big as Mount Meru, is that big? Big. But then Subhuti also said, yes, it is big, but not a body. The Buddha said it's not a body. That's why it's called big. The issue is on this big. Mount Meru is just an analogy. If someone is as big as Mount Meru, is that big? Big. But what is the real big? Subhuti already answered. The Buddha says, not a body. It is called a big body. So the issues is in this big. Mount Meru is just an analogy. Is our universe big? Big. Is the solar system big? Big. But the solar system is just one of the 100 solar systems in the universe. So comparing to the whole universe, it doesn't matter how advanced our science and technology, we still do not know how big the universe is. Is America big? Big. Is China big? Big. Is India big? Big. Is Brazil big? It's also big. Who is the strongest in the world now? We don't dare to say, because two are fighting with each other, US and China. They all want to be the big boss. And United States of America is already used to be the biggest power. I control the whole earth, all countries. Listen to me. Nobody dares not to listen. And the South Sea is closer to China and further to America. But America is still controlling in the South Sea. And they want to place battleships there. They built what is it called? Actually, South Sea, like the military base there. So the South Sea is closer to China and further to America. But in South Sea, we have Avalokitesvara of the South Sea, and we have Dragon King of the Eastern Sea, and also the Dragon Kings of the Four Seas. So South Sea is ours. How come it's yours? Then where would Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva live? That's just a modern day joke. Grandmaster is watching this play or like drama, like written by Jin Yong, really fighting to be the leader of the leagues. So what Jin Yong wrote has some philosophical ideas in it. Everybody is fighting to be the biggest or the head. Not to mention in between countries, the rich man also fighting to be the world's richest man. And two rich men, they don't like each other. Amazon, the boss of Amazon, is very rich, and then the boss of the electric vehicle, also very rich. So Jeff Bezos, Amazon said, "Oh, the EV. What's the big deal? I also want to make some EVs to compete with you." They're both very rich, right? The boss of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and the boss of Tesla, Elon Musk. They keep fighting each other to want to become the richest man. And in the religious world, it's the same. You go to the Fo Guangsan, you cannot say that Tzu Chi is good. If you do, they would glare at you and what are you talking about? Or if you go to Tzu and if you say for Guangsan is good, then who are you? Are you a troublemaker? Actually, in this world, everybody is fighting to be number one. In Taiwan, that was the China Buddhist Association is the biggest one. And then they all split up and become independent. So the society was so for us the Republic of China, two Buddha Tantrayana associations also became independent. So they fought each other and then they all became independent. For Guangsan, Tzu in the past, our temples have these names that it has to be under the China Buddhist Association, say Nantou XX Temple or Taipei XX Temple or Taipei Branch Santao Temple. Everything is under the China Buddhist Association. And all the monkhoods, the monk ID is also under the China Buddhist Association. Grandmaster has that too. At that time, the elder Wu Ming Changlao, Wu Ming, when he was the chief of the association, give that to me. So let me see if I have it with me, then I can show it to you. I'm a real monk. It's right here. A member of the China Buddhist Association, Dharma name Lien Sung, birth at Chiayi, Taiwan, male, date of birth June 27, 1945, Thai, and the number Ling Ling Oling 002083. Now, before, a monk should have a monk certificate, but now we are independent, so the monkhood certificate is written by Sutra Foundation now. It's blurry. The formal name is the Buddhist Association of ROC. Buddhist Association of Republic of China. So Grandmaster has a monk ID. So who's the boss? Now nobody. Everybody is the boss. When they're fighting each other, Sakyamuni Buddha said, the biggest one is the one in union with the Tao of the way.
释迦牟尼佛讲很清楚的一句话。
Sakyamuni Buddha made a clear statement. Those who are in union with the Tao is the biggest. If you are already in union with the Tao, then you are big. And what kind of body? When you're in union with the Tao, that's a non-body. Not the physical body, not anything. But when you're in union with the Tao, then you're number one. Students too, they want to be number one. They're very competitive. They always have to be number one. And then one time he became number two and he killed himself. What a pity. What use is to be number one as a student? Grandmaster stayed in the same class twice and now seated on the Dharma throne, establish a school through the school. So let me tell you, if you stay in class then twice, then you can establish a school, a religious school. Not necessarily that to be number one is good. Don't fight for this. The Buddha have said it, the most important statement. The one in union with the Tao is the biggest, is big. That's intangible. It's so big that there's no outside, and so small that there's no inside. So no inside and no outside. Only then it is the true big. The Tao is like that. It's so big that there's no outside and so small that there's no inside. What kind of big is this? Non-body. It has no forms and no appearances. Only then it's called big. Anything with appearance is small. You think that you live in a huge, luxurious house. How big? 16,000 square feet, Rainbow Villa. Altogether, over 16,000 square feet. It's a luxurious home. And people have 20,000 square feet or 1 acre, 2 acre houses. Have you seen? You're comparing. I compare chicken legs. How can you compare? Impossible. Those are all tangible stuffs. You think that you live in a big house, and that's the biggest one. And you think that driving Rolls-Royce, you're the biggest. But let me tell you, Ferrari, there's a $1 million Ferrari. And Rolls-Royce is only 50,000, 500,000. So Ferrari is 1 million, so 2 Rolls-Royces. And Lamborghini, they can make any car you want. $10 million car? Sure. So let's compare. You're still tiny. Rolls-Royce is small. So you cannot compare. So anything tangible is not. The Buddha said, the one in union with the Tao is the biggest one. No appearance is the biggest one. Anything with appearance or looks are small. So I point this key point out. So if someone has a body, as the king of Mount Meru, is his body big? What do you think? Subhuti replied, very big indeed. What on one? Why? Because the Buddha says it's non-body. Therefore it is called the big body. So anything that doesn't have forms and appearance is the biggest one. And what are the intangible ones? With no appearance is the Tao and Buddha nature. So if you cultivate spiritually until you reach no phenomenon or no appearance, and that your Buddha nature has appeared, that would be the biggest one. That would be the biggest. So you're reading the Vajra Sutra. Non-body, what is that? Things without forms and appearance are the biggest, and that is Tao, the true suchness, Buddha nature. Om Mani Padme Hum.